Welcome to Voices from the Bench, a dental laboratory podcast. Send us an email at info@voicesfromthebench.com or look for us on Facebook at Voices from the Bench. Greetings and welcome to Voices from the Bench, episode number 86. My name is Elvis, and finally joining me again is...
My name is Barbara. I missed you.
Welcome back, Barb.
Thank you for carrying down the pit for us. I appreciate all your hard work. Great interviews, too.
Yeah, it was really a good time at the Eastern Conference. I talked to a lot of fantastic people. I wish you were there. I really do. Probably would have talked to twice as many.
I saw a bunch of pictures. I saw Martha Martin posting, everybody speaking, plus you speaking, and some interviews. It looked like it was a great time. I will be there next year, I promise.
Yeah, it was a good show. I was really not surprised, but I was glad to see that it was so good.
Yeah, this is really a super strong show.
Yeah.
Visions is coming up. LMT's coming up, so we got a lot going on.
We're already lining up a bunch of shows up until May. It's going to be great.
Yes. We're going to be booked. We're going back out on the road.
Yeah, baby.
You've been on the road, but now I'll be partnering up with you on the road.
Yeah, but luckily, we got 2 months off here, so nothing till January.
Got it. And then we're booked, so come find us. We'll be letting you know where we are, everybody.
But this week, we have 2 more conversations I got while at the amazing Whitmix Digital Forum. First up is the Williamson family. We had Mark Williamson on the podcast before.
Yep, I remember.
Yeah, we actually talked to him in Chicago.
Yep.
And he was actually speaking at the Whitmix Digital Forum. But I was able to grab him, and he sat down with his wife, Allie Williamson, who is doing some fantastic training over at the Ottawa Dental Laboratory. She utilizes the PTC system. She's running a training program that I know every lab wishes they could send every employee through.
No doubt about that.
I know we've talked about it before, Barb, how we train these employees with over the shoulder.
Yeah.
And it's just an easier way to do it. But listening to Allie, God, I wish I could have her come into my lab and teach everybody. It's fantastic what she's doing.
Can't wait to hear the interview. Sounds awesome. We did PTC at one point, but we don't have anything that's actually run like what she's doing. So let's listen and see all about it.
Yeah, she talks about her history in the industry and how she trains and encourages everyone to get their CDT.
Awesome.
And also what I always enjoy listening is how the married couple are able to work together. That's always a hoot.
I would agree.
During the interview, you actually hear kind of the horn sound for starting a horse race. It's in the background. It is Whitmix trying to tell everyone to get back into the program. That's how they did it. So we're not actually at the racetrack recording, just that sound's in the background.
That's kind of cool. It's like you're corralling your folks to get back into the learning.
You know, Cal Lab goes out there with the little bell and goes ding, ding, ding. Yeah. No, this is... You know, that's like...
Wow. You did that pretty well. Maybe they should record your voice to do that next year.
I only get royalty checks of $50 per use. So.
Yeah, well, it's worth it.
And then, because I was in Kentucky, I had to sit down with Reed Nunnally. He is a second-generation lab owner who took a little bit of a different path than what we usually hear on the podcast. But Reed talks about learning the business and what Derby Dental Lab is doing to become the leader in clear aligners. So join us from the Whitmix Digital Forum with Allie, Mark, and Reed. Is zirconia giving your lab a hard time on your full arch cases?
Yes, for me.
Have you experienced warping or breakage in your sintering oven?
Yes, for me again.
Have you ever had an arch return for adjustment and had to scrap it and start all over?
Yes. So, there's a better way.
Introducing Crystal Ultra Nano Ceramic by Digital Dental, the better alternative for full arch dentistry. A Crystal Ultra arch is 60% lighter than a zirconia arch, is easily adjusted chairside, and can be milled on a 1-to-1 basis with no centering required.
That saves you, 10 to 12 hours right there?
Not only is a Crystal Ultra Arch better dentistry for patients, it's better for your lab as well. To learn more about the future of full arch dentistry, visit www.crystalultra.com/voices. Crystal Ultra, feel the difference. Voices from the bench. The interview.
These are cute. Is this swag?
That if you want one, you can have one. I don't even know where I got them.
I love swag.
Yeah,
Once you take a gift, it's yours to keep.
Yeah, right? I'm all over it. Look at that. That's awesome.
All right, here we are, Whitmix Digital Forum.
Yes.
With the Williamson family. Mark has been on before. We talked to you in Chicago.
Yes.
2019, and now Allie, who didn't want to join us in Chicago.
Well, I was coaching him, so I just wanted to
Yeah.
make sure
You
everything
were in
was
the
going the way it
background,
needed to go.
telling
So,
him to smile, because that's
That's
important.
right. I'm holding his purse for him and things like that. So
Thanks.
So let's see. You guys work together at Ottawa.
correct.
Allie, you're like a educator, right?
I am now. Yes. that
So
is
what is your role there?
So I started off as being the removable dental technology educator.
Yeah.
And now I am segueing over to the fixed aspect also, because I originally was trained in everything. I mean, I got an associate's degree in dental technology from Southern Illinois University in
Nice.
Carbondale. That was way back in the 80s.
The
So
80s.
I'm not going to say exactly what year.
Late 80s. late 80s.
Not quite late 80s, but close enough.
Yeah.
And then when I went into the workforce professionally, I didn't know where I was going to go. I thought I was going to go into fixed, but they needed a removable technician at the time.
As everybody always
As
does.
everybody did. And I accepted the challenge, and I just kind of took off
So
from
you're
there.
trained fixed.
Well, actually, I'm trained
All?
all.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
But you liked the fixed side better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was. That's what I thought I was going to do.
So which lab was this? Was this Ottawa? Or?
Actually, no. This was back at Artistic Dental Studio.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, back when they were still in Darien, Illinois.
Yeah.
So I was there, and they put me in the removable department.
Yep.
And I'm like, okay, let's do this. And then within a couple of years, I was doing pretty good, and that's when I met
Yep.
Mark.
That's where we met.
And you came in.
I came in and merged I had a small laboratory.
Oh, that's
for
right,
4
yeah.
years, and I merged with Artistic, and I came in to run their removable department.
Yeah.
And that's where I met Allie.
So who hit on who first?
Oh yeah, it was instantaneous. It's like a lightning bolt.
Oh,
just hit
yeah.
it.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, it's been bliss ever since. Oh yeah.
I can tell by your expression that is
Well,
true.
Mark always says, "Oh, it's like 5 minutes. It's only been like 5 minutes, but underwater." So yeah,
That's hilarious.
yeah. So
That's hilarious. So here you are at Artistic, and you're an actual removable technician, or are you educating at this point?
no, I'm a technician.
Okay.
I was a technician for, oh gosh, I would have to say about 35 years, and being an educator is new to me.
Okay.
So I just started becoming an educator about a year and a half ago. It'll be 2 years in
So
January.
Why did this
Well,
start?
what happened is that I, as a department manager, when I was working on technical, I found that I was able to communicate and express to learning technicians what it is that they needed to know. I guess you could say I kind of had a knack for it. So knowing that, I kind of started writing things down and making it as simple as possible for
Yeah.
people to understand.
Sure.
And it was effective. So we, our company, now Ottawa Dental Laboratory, saw that ability in me and asked me to be the removable trainer at the time.
Nice.
So we needed removable technicians.
Yeah.
So we were doing everything from the basic, fundamentals of learning anatomy and physiology down to starting with preliminary bench work, bite rims, custom trays, like a lot of people
And
learn.
we utilize the PTC system.
Do you?
Quite a
We
bit, yeah.
love PTC.
Yeah.
I love PTC.
Is that how you were trained?
I was trained Air Force Manual from school.
Oh, okay.
And then when I came to Ottawa Dental Lab, and this has been, 13 years now that we've been with Ottawa Dental Lab, they're a PTC lab. And I wasn't really exposed to PTC until I started taking the courses. And I'm thinking, this is awesome because they really simplify it and they make it very basic for someone, especially with not a lot of experience, to understand. And excellent results. And I realized what I didn't know, thinking, oh yeah, I've been doing this a while. I know my stuff.
Oops.
And it wasn't. It wasn't until I started getting exposed to PTC that I realized, I don't know a whole lot, and it made me relearn what I thought I already knew.
Sure.
So
did you base your whole program at Ottawa based off PTC?
It is. It is based
because
off
you
of
have to have
PTC.
something to educate. You can't just be, it's over-the-shoulder learning. A lot of people
Well,
have
that's
learned,
what every
right.
lab does.
But-
and that's what we do.
Yeah.
And it's not effective.
Well, what
it
happens?
works, but it's not effective.
Yeah, what happens with over the shoulder is that you're only going to be as good as that technician.
Yeah.
So if that technician can't explain the fundamentals and
why.
without a doubt and give you measurable results, it's going to be difficult for a trainee to capture every
Absolutely.
detail. So with PTC, when I first went to PTC, I went and I did their complete denture program. And it just validated a lot of what I already knew, but it also exposed me to a lot of what I didn't realize I didn't know. So it also taught me how to train. That's a key thing because if you get somebody that comes into the lab, they don't know anything. I mean, a week ago they were probably working at, Dairy Queen, and now you're talking dental terminology to them. They're lost. And unless you continue to bring that up day after day after day, that terminology in words that they can understand also, that it simplifies it for them and they can learn faster, I think.
How long is your program that you've put together? I mean, if you have an employee come and apply for a job completely off the street from Dairy Queen or whatever, they start your program?
That's correct. So what we do is we go through an assessment of hiring first of all. They do phone interviews, and then from there they take aptitude tests. And
you do the Glidewell math test?
Well, I think we do a math test. I don't know if it's the Glidewell math
right.
test, but we do a math test.
Yeah.
And, we want to make sure that they're trainable.
Yeah,
Let's start with that.
Absolutely.
And then from there, they will start with the PTC program, and they'll learn the fundamentals of tooth morphology, anatomy, and physiology. So it's simplified posterior anatomy. They'll do that for a week. They'll go through a series of tests, so to speak, cycles to see how much they're retaining. And if they're going into the removable aspect, we'll put them also through another week of oral anatomy and physiology, which is talking about all of the edentulous aspects and tissue and muscles and bone structure.
Wow.
Yeah. So they'll go through that, and then once they have been able to go through that process successfully, then they'll go on to a hands-on training program, which is with me. And then I will teach them hands-on. So we have a person that does the book work.
Yep.
Her name is Leslie Whistler, and she is just an excellent trainer as far as knowing how to test. She is not a technician. But
because she has the curriculum and the books, then she can teach that textbook style, and then Allie will reinforce
right.
it.
And she's been trained through PTC as well.
Yeah.
So she's been trained on how to train. And then she's been with the company for like 3 or 4 years now.
Yeah.
So then when they come to me, they already have the terminology, so I can speak the language now to them. Now it's just a matter of getting them hands-on and start giving them a little bit of experience and starting to, practice.
Yeah, start
really.
that muscle memory kind of thing.
Oh,
going.
yeah. And it's not just with removable. It's like we'll start out maybe with model work, learn how to pour stone. They've never worked with stone before.
Sure.
Explain to them the different types of stone that are out there, type 1 through 4, and then how to hold a spatula, how to work the vibrator, how to use, well, we call it the whip mix, but it's the VPM2.
Where you
and
weigh out the
so
water
we're
power.
and I think one of the key things that we want our technicians to succeed, and obviously for our own benefit and for theirs too. But we know that we have to simplify it for them to win. Too often we'll go into a lab and we're like, here's a tooth, make your tooth look like this tooth.
Yeah.
It's like, that's not fair.
No.
So we tell them, okay, here are the fundamentals. Let's start with this. Every tooth is going to have this. So let's get to point A. We get there. Okay, fine. Now we're going to mix it on to point B, and we're going to incorporate other details. Everybody's there. Okay, fine.
Yep.
And everybody follows a step-by-step procedure until we go down the list and everything is talked about and learned. Now it's just a matter of applying everything you just learned and putting it to your one case.
Wow.
So it's very simplified and user-friendly, our program. We also, not only do we do that to train our technicians, but existing technicians that we have. A lot of times you get set in your ways and you kind of forget, wait.
Right. Or bad habits get passed down.
Absolutely.
Or they'll say, well, I do it this way. And when they maybe you're trying to show a younger technician, they don't tell them why. It's just do it this way. So
right.
Where the PTC really kind of explains all of that.
Right.
So.
And I'm not saying that our company is doing everything perfectly right now. I mean, we still stumble and we still try to, we learn from what is effective, what's not effective. But what we'll do is we'll try to get everybody on the same page. So managers and owners and technicians, we're all trying to reach the same goal, and we all know the same things. So that way there's no miscommunication on, hey, wait a minute, you left out this landmark. Wait a minute, you didn't consider this. And you can identify that easily.
So have all the managers at Ottawa gone through this program?
Yes.
All the technicians.
All of them? How long? In that amount of time?
And, it's like, and we have over 200 employees.
Using PTC before we were with them, so
right.
A lot of them had already, some of the managers that were already working there had already gone through that.
Yeah.
But any of the new people that come in, everybody goes through
Any
that.
technician that walks through the door and is going to be working in production is going to go through PTC.
Wow.
Well, and you have to train, right? I mean, we have no schools. It's got to come from somewhere. And by having this curriculum through PTC, it just makes smart sense. It's already put together for you.
Do you do classes, or is it every time you hire someone, that one person goes through it?
Well, it's usually individually, but
really?
We might hire, say, 2 or 3 people at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay, so those 3 people are going to go through the PTC program all at the same time.
Anybody not make it?
Anybody?
Yeah?
Oh,
Everybody's
yeah.
like, this is too much?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, good to know that early.
Well, that's just it.
Right.
And that's the whole idea. You want to be able to identify who is going to be trainable and who
it's
is
funny
not.
because you'll see some people, just different levels. Out of the 3 people, you might find one that, this person's going to be pretty good.
Rock star.
This one, I think definitely has potential, and we'll have to work with them. So it's nice that you can put them on different tracks.
And it probably allows you time to assess where they're going to be the best in the lab.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So by the time they finish, you're going to be perfect in the model room.
Exactly.
You're going to be perfect doing this.
Exactly. And it's not just hands-on and bench work. It's also CAD. So we'll put them through, a PTC training program for CAD.
Yeah, I saw that at their booth that they offer 3Shape
It's
training.
excellent.
So you guys use 3Shape?
Yep. We use 3Shape,
awesome.
That's
and
pretty
carbon
much
printers.
99% of what we use.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe you don't want to answer this, but feel free to say no. If you bring someone in and they go through this program, are they required to work there for so long? Or can they get this amazing training you're offering and then come work at Summer Dental Lab?
No, they're not committed.
No.
I mean, I think we just, with what our company has to offer and where we're going, most of them stay.
Well, of course.
We have a lot of people that have been with the company a long time.
And that's the thing, Elvis, is that, everybody's like, you're going to build these technicians and all, and then what if they leave? It's like, well, our company doesn't give them a reason to leave, so that's not an issue. So we're okay with that, you know. So
can I send employees to Ottawa
to train?
But promise you won't offer.
Yeah, no, sorry. If you want the training from this gal, you're going to have to come and work for Ottawa Dental Lab.
What's kind of nice too with we pride ourselves on having, I think I mentioned last time, we had like 22, 23 CDTs.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have Allie, or the company allowed Allie to kind of facilitate a study club that technicians can do on their own time after work, kind of meet with Allie. Allie's got a whole curriculum together. And so we have probably almost 50 people.
We have 49 people preparing
involved in the
with
study
the CDT
group,
study group.
And they'll break off in little groups and study on their own, and then they meet once a month, kind of go over, with what Allie's developed.
Well, see, that was the thing, is that,
company.
As our technicians get more experience, they want challenges, and they want to, continue in their career path. And one of the goals is to become a CDT. It's one of their personal goals, and it's one of our company's goals. We encourage that.
Yeah.
So, what's hard is, though, we want that, even though we want that, how do they go about getting it? That was the overwhelming part.
It's a scary first step.
Well, and you got to consider that, these technicians, they outside of work, they probably have kids, they have they might have health issues where they have to do something, or they might even have another job.
So they have a life.
So they have a life, and it's difficult for them to prepare for this. So it's overwhelming, and then typically somebody will just say, okay, here's the website to get your CDT. Have a nice day. Good luck to you.
Yeah.
So what we've done for our employees, that if you're seeking to get certification, in lack of better terms, we kind of did the homework for them. So we went online and we downloaded the study guide.
Yep.
And then we gathered all the resources that are recommended by the study guide. That we break it down. The study guide is an 8-month, curriculum. So we broke it down into 8 months. Each month we print and we bind all the information that's to be studied for that month, and we treat it like a book club. So we gather for, the first month. Here's all the information you're going to learn or read. And then next month you come back, we talk about it, and then you're going to get your information for the next month. And we'll do that until, the course is done.
Yeah, I like that. It's not just you up there telling them the information.
No.
They learn it on their own.
Well, and that's just it. Everyone's like, well, you're going to teach us this. I'm like, I'm not going to teach you anything. I go, I don't know this stuff either.
Are you a CDT?
I am a
okay,
CDT.
Good.
Yes,
okay.
I am. And, I can't walk the walk if I can't back it up, right? What we do is try to get all the resources prepared for these technicians to win, because their win is our win. So So
do you guys offer the testing at Ottawa?
We do.
I thought so.
Yeah,
we do.
I saw that. That's cool. That makes it real convenient too.
Very convenient. Although now the testing is going to be for the comprehensive written.
Online.
It's all going to be online.
Yeah.
So
No, I'm pretty excited about that actually. I think it's
I think it's a great idea.
It's hard travel for a lot of people.
Right.
Yeah. We have a CDT that went from Indiana all the way, had to go to North Carolina to get it.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. Just because of that time of the year, and that's where it was.
Well, see, and that's just it. And I think for, the hands-on, if we have enough people, we could just have it at our facility, and then it would be, open to anybody.
Does Ottawa pay for the testing for the employees?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I call it the ODL scholarship.
And it pays for their renewal every year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And also, we have different levels. Technicians come in at a level 1, obviously.
Yeah.
Certain tasks they have to do for a certain amount. They can level out. Now they're level 2, and that kind of applies with their pay scale.
Sure.
And so to become a level 4 pay scale, one of the requirements is you have to be a CDT
to hit level 4.
Nice. Right.
Nice.
So it's just advantageous to get it, right? It's good for you, the person becoming a CDT, they've accomplished something on their own, just kind of reinforces what they're doing, makes them more valuable, and it's a win-win for everybody, and especially for our clients and their patients.
Yeah, at the end of the day, that's what it's for.
I love labs that support their employees getting CDTs.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And Mark and I have been around for a while, and I would have to say Ottawa Dental Lab is probably one of the most dedicated labs that I know of for education.
Yeah.
So
No,
definitely.
it sounds like you guys are killing it.
Yeah.
It's nice
well,
that we have the resources.
Yeah, it's nice to have the resources,
Right.
and that's.
I mean,
that's the best
honestly,
thing.
when at our lab, if someone comes in and has no idea, they sit down at a bench.
That's
and
how
they
I
just
learn.
start picking
Yeah.
it up. And at the same time of them picking it up, they're also doing production.
Right,
And
right.
there's just, it's not a
Right.
good way to learn
No.
anything.
Not the most
Not even
ideal,
in just
but-
our industry, just everything.
Right.
So
Right.
I
agree.
think what you guys are doing is amazing.
Oh, great! Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
and
you
I
so
hope
much.
every other lab
Yeah.
can pick up
Well,
on
and
it.
like I said, I think hats off to the Caruso family for
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
Yeah, for
obviously-
investing in their, because a lot of times, they're like, well, you know what, we'll reimburse you after you do it. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
no, they're taking care of us from the front end.
That's good.
So, because that's an issue too for a lot of technicians. It's like, well, I don't
Maybe
have
they don't
the
have the
resources right now. I don't have the funds.
Yeah, yeah.
So they're like, no, that's not that. We don't want that to be a concern.
Yeah,
so
it's not a reimbursement. It's an investment in that employee's
That's
future.
correct.
Yeah.
That is correct.
How long
So,
have you guys been there?
13 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah. And
And you were telling me before we got started, you guys don't drive to the lab together.
No.
I mean,
Only
working
because
We
we
went.
used to. We used to drive to the lab together,
Oh,
but
yeah.
then we, he's waiting for me to finish,
Yeah.
getting ready, and then we don't have time for coffee and all that kind of stuff. So now, and I was telling you also, we drive to work in silence because we're like, okay, getting ready for the day.
Yeah, yeah.
We drive home from work together in silence because we're just done with the
Decompressing.
day.
I'm always amazed by people that can work together and be
But we've
married.
always have. Ellie and I have always worked
Since
You
the
don't
day
know
we
it,
met.
like, that's,
you know,
that's
from
different,
artistic
yeah.
days where we met, so we've always worked together.
We've
from
always
then,
worked
and
together.
So
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
That's normal
it's just
for
what
us.
we
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
working with him, I think, would be weird.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So how much do you talk about work at home?
We do.
Yeah. I mean,
Not-
it varies. Sometimes you're like, okay, I don't want to talk to work.
Yeah.
Let's just go home. Eventually, we end up talking about it anyway.
Yeah, we
Sure,
do.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah. So our
That's
our
fine.
idea of dinner conversation is talking about, hey, did you see that new printer that came in? And it's like, okay.
Or did you listen to Voices from the Bench?
Yeah,
There you
that's
go.
right. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I love it. You mean we're not being played during dinner?
That's
Right,
right.
right,
Background. Alexa.
Hurry, get your dinner.
We're
Turn
on
it
there.
on,
Alexa, play Voices from the Bench.
Yeah.
There you go.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you guys sitting down.
Well, it was our
Always
pleasure.
great, Mark.
Yes.
Love
Thank you.
guys.
Thank you for what
Yeah.
you're doing. This is great.
Yeah,
so
we
many
enjoy
different
it.
interviews
Cool.
that you've done.
And you're
Some
speaking
great
today,
people.
aren't you? Is it today or
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going to speak with Corey Lambertson with Whitmex. He's going to talk about digital designing dentures and post-processing, and we'll talk about some characterization utilizing some of the AnnexNet products.
Of
So-
removables.
Yeah, removables.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that'll be tomorrow. We're the last ones, so they
Oh,
saved
you're
the best
closing
for
the
last.
thing. Yeah.
Saving the best for
Yeah,
last.
you're the one we're all going to be talking about on the drive home.
That's
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
How come
exactly.
It's
you're
all
not
good.
speaking?
Oh, are you kidding me? No, I coach him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm his muse. I like to think.
I couldn't do a lot of it without her, with her support and things.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
it's been great.
Absolutely. You guys are a great team. I love
Well,
it.
thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So we'll see you back inside.
Absolutely.
All
Thank you so
right.
much.
You bet.
Appreciate it. So we're here at the Whitmix Digital Forum with Reed Nunnally. Am I saying that right?
You are.
Reed Nunnally from
Nunnally.
Derby Dental Lab. How far are you away from this location here?
We're probably 5 minutes from Whitmix, 5
Nice.
minutes from here, so real close.
Do you stop by Whitmix to pick up your products so you don't have to pay for the shipping and everything?
We do.
Heck yeah.
We pull the truck up and they put it in the back and drive it up to the loading dock.
Nice. So tell me about Derby. You're the owner of it. Your father started it?
It is, so it's second generation.
Okay.
Father, David Nunnally, founded it in the mid-'80s.
Mid-'80s.
My brother worked
Yeah.
with Derby for a while. He's a dentist now. And then I did a couple things before, real estate, construction and stuff, and then was looking for that next path and kind of made it fit with my father. He was looking to give up a little more
Yeah.
control. Technology was coming in, just kind of being 2010 is when I
So
came
did
into
you
the
grow
business.
up working in the lab, or you
No.
had no interest?
No. So, we're fortunate to be part of the Tarek Group and CNC and have a lot
Sure.
of relationships. And I can't tell you how many second-generation people talk about being in
Growing
the
up.
model room and
Yeah.
growing up and all
I
this.
love when people say I was casting bugs. I was like,
Yeah, no. My father, the way he showed, his love for his family was working
Yeah.
hard and building a business, and we just weren't really part of that as a
Really?
kid. Yeah.
Interesting.
So, I mean, I would go in it here or there, but no, didn't really grow up
That's funny.
in the business. So, I mean, even 2010, being a grown adult, what do you really do? I know you make teeth, but I don't know much about it.
So as little as 10 years ago, you still weren't in the business.
Correct.
And you were doing real estate or something.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And then all of a sudden he decided it's time.
It was just kind of a perfect storm. We
Yeah.
were growing a little bit. The market was shifting a lot in 2010.
Mm-hmm.
Little post-recession. What do you figure out? Zirconia was, we
Sure.
were
Yep.
starting that kind of the digital revolution, or what you would call it, in
Yep,
that
yep.
area. And lucky for me, I came into a vision that was already in the works. Right, I didn't walk into completely analog. This is the way it needs to be, and we shouldn't
Your dad
change.
already started that progression.
We already
into
had,
it.
He was an early adopter with technology. We weren't a lava lab, but we were a Circon lab.
Oh yeah.
We had, I want to say, probably 2007 or 8. We bought our first 3D printer.
Really? That is early.
I think we spent $100,000 and never got a functional part off of it. I mean, it was just way before its time.
Yeah. You still have it in the closet?
Cinnabad? No, we should have when we
Yeah.
moved facilities. There was kind of this iconic moment where we all threw it in the dumpster and cheered. But, that's lucky with Tarek and communicating with friends and stuff on business that, we kind of ate that one for the team.
Yeah, nice.
Don't go buy this piece of equipment. It's not there yet. So we haven't made that mistake since. But came into we had already kind of moved on from Circon at that point. We one of the kind of first early on open architecture Zirconia was the dental mill. Digital Dental, Karpowitz and those guys
Digital Dental,
out of California.
Yeah, we know them well.
Yeah, so we had a couple dent mills and started going, and we built a pretty good business.
So when you came into it not knowing it much, what was your role? Just to learn?
So I would say we were a small business that had grown into, starting to need some more operational structures, administrative side and stuff like that. So early roles, was first of it was just HR type stuff. We need a handbook. We've got employees.
Yeah.
We need, just some of that basic.
Things that small businesses don't worry about, sure.
Exactly. So, it was my father and his assistant, and that was our office.
When you came into it, what's your technician size?
I would say we were probably close to 30 technicians.
Yeah, still decent
at
size.
that time. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, my father he was a wonderful businessman, but was not a fantastic technician. So he went through business after business in his youth. He never had a boss. He always did independent things. And when he moved, my grandfather's a dentist. My uncle, his brother is a dentist. So
a lot of teeth talk at Thanksgiving.
Yeah, a little too much. Yeah, my mom had to always tailor the tooth talk. So But he was looking for his next venture. He owned a key market, a meat market, a produce store, paint and wallpaper. He did all these little businesses, and I think he just looked at that this is going to be a hard job for a long time, and maybe it's not. This isn't my long-term fit. His father was a dentist and said, I pay my dental lab a lot of, a nice little check. Other than staff, it's my biggest bill. So he's like, well, what is this? So he had 2 small kids. He went back to school when he already had a family. We kind of scraped by for a little while, and then he got into the dental lab world, and his first customer was his father. And
of course,
so he worked with my grandfather and his brother for a little while, and then lovingly, I don't know the real story, but I mean, maybe 6 months in, a year in, or something, he sat down with my father and showed him the work that he was getting from my father, and the work that he should be getting.
Oh, that's a hard conversation to have.
That it was, he's again a good businessman, but he wasn't putting out the best PFM or full cast or whatever it was at that point. So he thought at that point, okay, well, I'm not the best at doing this, but I know how to run a business and have employees. So he started hiring the best techs around, his friends that he went to school with and stuff like that. And so he's never really been a hands-on technician. Mm-hmm. He certainly knows it well. Had a CDT and everything, but he just started.
He is a CDT.
Yes. Yeah. So he passed coming up on 3 years.
Just 3 years ago, he became a CDT.
No, I'm sorry. He passed away.
Sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, misunderstood.
So he's been a CDT, I would say, since the early 80s.
Nice.
In Kentucky, which is which is pretty cool. Bennett was talking about earlier at the meeting here. You have to have a CDT to be a dental laboratory in the state of Kentucky.
Oh, so you guys have regulation.
So we have regulatory
awesome.
here. So,
awesome.
So he got that in 1987 when I think he got out of school in 86, started the business in 87 and got that.
So his whole purpose of becoming a CDT was to open the lab.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah, he kind of needed that. And we have probably, 17 or 18 CDTs on staff.
Nice.
So it's a big part of what we do. But, yeah, I came into the business 2010 pretty much for a year, just kind of shadowed, watched how he did, what he, how he operated and all that. And then he slowly started, kind of handing this over, that over. And I think it just worked out time-wise. Where he was, I think the decision-making was maybe similar. So it was like maybe 3 years in, he was very out of the day-to-day operation.
Really?
So kind of jumped right into that. And then he was diagnosed with cancer and was pretty much out of the business right away, so it was kind of this overnight type thing. So luckily I had already had a few years working with him, understanding the business and all that. And it was probably the best. I mean, I love what we do now. I love our aligner business, the growth that we're having and all that cool stuff. But my favorite still to date, a couple years in the laboratory, was allowing him to fight his fight and not have to worry about a paycheck and how he's going to support himself and all the employees and stuff like that. So that was pretty awesome.
That is great. Yeah, let's talk about that. So you're here speaking. The gentleman that was speaking, what was his name?
Nick Windlow.
Nick Windlow. He's here talking about your guys' clear aligner business. Now, we all know clear aligners are huge in our business right now. How did you get into it?
So, again, just trying to think about, and I like teeth, but
sure.
I'll be the first to say I'm not the passionate technician. I'm not a hands-on guy. I like the business side of it a lot.
Have you ever made anything?
No. I mean, construction-wise, but not in the dental space.
Yeah, me neither, so we're good.
I love the business. I love the people and all that. And through my father's relationships and been able to build them, I've gotten to know just countless amazing people in the industry. And we kind of, we were early into zirconia. We obviously didn't invent the space. It was kind of a Me Too product. But we were able to jump in early and really become that kind of leader in our region. Yep. We grew a big business with it. And that is the interest level in zirconia is, I hate to say it's somewhat commoditized, but it has.
Very much so.
It's a pricing game now.
Yep.
From us squeezing vendors on material price to doctors to us to patient reimbursement. So we did that, and that was great. And we grew the business, and then it was kind of like, okay, what's new? What's cool? What's next? We're growing a removal department, and that's fantastic. We've got our implant department, which we've been growing. We've run in a little sleep, but we were trying to find, what is out there? What is interesting? What is different that the way I try to look at it is everyone and their mother can make zirconia right now.
Yeah.
Early on, when we were buying $80,000 mills and all this, there were barriers to entry.
Absolutely.
Now there's milling centers and there's very affordable equipment. I've got a great friend in Northern Kentucky that has a Dave Klein, who has it's him. He has a one-person lab. He has a printer. He has a scanner. He has a mill, and he does everything. So everyone can do that now, which is great. But it didn't allow us a mechanism to continue to grow our business.
Sure. I get it.
We were looking into what has a barrier to entry. What is something that's niche, but not too niche that we can't really grow it to something big. And it was, I hate to say, of all the companies in the aligner space, I had heard of Smile Direct Club.
Yeah.
The direct-to-consumer. And this was probably 2.5 years ago, I'll say probably a little over 3 years ago, started thinking about it. Seeing, you'd heard of Invisalign. Mm-hmm. We have a very small, we have a couple people that bend wire. We do a very small ortho business, but we were looking into how do we, ortho might be a good space. And then I know a lot of some ortho labs, and I mean, the average ortho product sells for just a very small amount, and you have to. It's a complex business, very hard. But then we started looking at clear aligners, and we saw Smile Direct come out, and I said, wow, how can they do that? I've really only heard of Invisalign at this point. So we looked into it, and I had an attorney kind of do look into the business component of it to see, is this something that is viable? Are they? And there's ClearCorrect. There's a couple other players in there, but there were all sorts of lawsuits out there.
That's
and a
what
lot
I
of
worry
issues
about, honestly.
So So when we got into it, it was really, first off, can we do it?
Yeah.
And we got a business perspective that said, yes, there are main key patents expiring. they were in the future still.
Sure. No,
so
we all
know
like, about that.
You know,
yeah.
So at that point, they hadn't expired yet. And then I went to IDS in Germany for the first time, 2017. And I had a clear focus, no pun intended, on looking at aligners. And in Europe, there were a plethora of companies starting to up and come, and there are some big players. And so I just started digging into it, and then we looked at what does it take to get into that, right?
Yeah.
And it is a very highly regulated Class 2 medical device, so you have to have 510K, FDA, all this sort of stuff.
That.
You look into what it costs up front to get in, then you look into this, you know, what you need to grow that business, and it was a bit risky, right? There's a lot of upfront investment, a lot of equipment, a lot of regulatory. We had to have the right people that knew how to do it, so we actually kind of went out, and we're very fortunate to get some people that know the clear aligner space very well, already manufactured them, and so we kind of had all the pieces of the puzzle and just needed to say, you know, to go with it. So it took probably we're about a year into offering that product.
Wow.
So it took almost 2 years, a little over 2 years, to kind of get from, you know, A to Z where we could actually offer the product, know that we're putting out a good quality product. So last year at this point, we had 2 employees, outfitted a little space in our building, and you know, right now I think we're in the 40s.
Wow, just for the clear
aligner business right now.
In the same building as Derby?
We are. So our parking's a little crazy. We're double parking and all that. So we're looking at another facility.
Yeah.
We should be moving into it the beginning of 2020.
That's exciting.
It is. And the part that with it so far, I mean, we went through all that, and then we looked at how do we sell this product, right?
Yeah.
We're a regional laboratory. We could sell it to our regional doctors, but I can't just do a little business with aligners.
That's what I was going to
ask. Do a big business.
I mean, did it start with you selling it through Derby?
No. When we started the business, we were looking at what avenue is the best one to go with. And one was us sell to our doctors, and one was us trying to find partners. And, you know, so more the retail line versus the wholesale avenue. And it made a lot more sense for us in the way that we operate to try to go the wholesale route.
Yeah.
We don't have multi-million-dollar marketing budgets. We're not a national laboratory. We have no want to be a national laboratory with Derby Dental.
You don't want to be the Glidewell of the Midwest?
Yeah. No, thank you. He's got one a mile from me. Right?
Oh, does he?
Yeah, he's got a Crown World about a mile from us. So, but for us, that was it made the best sense. And we do sell aligners to our current doctors.
Yeah, sure.
We have a small little aligner business, and you know, it works out just great. But then we thought, how about we find partners that kind of do exactly what we do? We sell in our local region. We get a handful of cases a day, and you know, it's a very easy value proposition to talk with a partner laboratory about.
Yeah.
So that's what I've loved about it is, you know, the interface here is through the friendships. I've always had peer-to-peer, but now to be able to work with a lot of our friends and stuff has been great.
All your partnership labs are labs that don't want to go through the FDA. Nobody has a desire to do that.
Yeah, and if you do, that's great. I mean, you know, but you really have to kind of go all in into that space. So, and that was our hope. Again, we can grow a nice little business, but then let's partner with 50, 100, 200 laboratories around the nation, and then it turns into a nice big business. You know, we can make a nice profit, and then, you know, our partner laboratories can as well, and just kind of creates a win-win. So
awesome.
It's been great.
That's great. That is fantastic. Hey, I appreciate you sitting down with me, Reed.
Of course.
It's nice to finally actually meet you.
Yeah.
I enjoy seeing all your classic cars that you're picking up. Those things are amazing.
On social media there? Yeah. I'll try to get in them a little more often than I do.
Yeah, my wife loves the truck that you got.
Yeah.
That thing's killer.
Yeah, so. Picked up a 53 Chevy truck. It's beautiful. It's pretty special. Yeah.
It's awesome.
Absolutely.
Well, appreciate it. Again, thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we'll talk to you soon.
All right, thanks for your time, Elvis.
Bye.
Today's episode is brought to you by Kettenbach. Let's talk about impressions and impression materials. Can we agree that not all incoming records your lab receives are equal in quality or have captured the details you feel necessary to move forward confidently with a fixed, removable, or implant case? NADL studies show that small, medium, and large labs all face the same awful situation of producing remakes at no charge over and over again when it might not be the lab's fault. Kettenbach and their team of manufacturer reps are here to help your lab by offering support and solutions, not chairside milling units, that will improve the incoming clinical results and consistency you and your clients are looking to achieve. Their materials are manufactured in Germany using patented technology, and in America they only sell direct for less cost. Visit www.kettenbach-dental.us to learn more about Panacell, Identium, and Celginate impression materials, Futar bite registration, Thistleist temp material and core buildup, Mucopin soft reline, and airway metrics. Kettenbach also offers materials used every day in the dental lab, in particular the Panacell Lab Putty Hard and Lab Putty Soft. These materials can be cleanly and easily dispensed in a 1-to-1 putty matrix. There are no messy accelerator gels with this system. The Panacell Lab Putty is sold in 2 5-kilogram buckets of base and catalyst and is definitely the dimensional, stable lab putty material you have been looking for. Try any of the materials risk-free today by calling Kettenbach direct at 877-532-2123. Mention the code Dental Lab Podcast 25 and you will receive an additional 25% off your order. Once again, call Kettenbach direct at 877-532-2123 to make the connection with a partner who can help your lab and your clients save money and increase quality coming in and going out. Thanks for your support, Kettenbach.
So a super big thanks to Allie and Mark Williamson, as well as Reed Nunnally, for sitting down with my partner Elvis at the Whip Mix Digital Forum. I love how the Williamsons met in the lab, and they continue to work together at the lab, sharing their passion for the industry together, which I might add, that probably takes a lot of hard work being married and working together. So kudos to you guys. Or maybe they just do it really naturally and they just get along in and out of the lab.
It's like they mentioned in the interview, they don't know any better.
Yeah, yes, so. And what Allie is doing at Ottawa is nothing short of amazing. Thank you for what you do. I wish every lab had the resources to train like they do, including mine. And for Reed, for taking the reins of his established dental lab and taking it to the next level. If you're thinking about offering clear aligners in your lab, we recommend you check out their Smile Shapers. I like that tagline too, Smile Shapers.
Do you guys do any clear aligners or partner up with anybody?
No, we do not.
Are you thinking about it? It's right up your alley, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm definitely thinking about it. I've been educating myself. I sit with Reed on the CalLab board, so I get the pleasure of picking his brain, and he's amazing and he's smart. So we'll see.
Yeah.
But they've got it. I mean, they're kicking butt. Next week, we have a set of interviews with 3 speakers for the Vision 21 meeting in January. Remember, it's never too early to register and make plans. It's the 16th to the 18th in Vegas at the Palms. It's going to be an amazing meeting. Check for the link on this episode's show notes. And remember, if you have never been to a Vision 21 and you are from a lab, you can actually save $200 on registering.
And right after that, on January 24th and 25th, we are going to be at what's called the Voices of Dentistry. Held every year in Scottsdale, Arizona, this event is nothing but a dental podcast summit.
Say that 4 times. Say that 4 times. Dental Podcast Summit. How many people are going to be there when they say dental podcast? How many podcasts are there? Do you remember from last year?
Wow. Well, actual dental podcasts, I would probably say there's roughly around 200 of them.
You're me. Huh.
Yeah, there's tons of them. And ones that actually show up, I think last year the list was around 30, and I think that's going to even be bigger this year. But I went last year, and I kind of felt like a chicken in a wolf house. I mean, I was the only lab person there. I would like to see more technicians go to this event as an attendee. I really think this is a good chance for us to strengthen the bond between laboratory and dentist. You might spend a lot of time going to laboratory technician events, but I think it's smart of us to go to a few dentist events to kind of get into their mindset, and I think we'd all work better together if we did that. Just as much as I'd want dentists to come to laboratory events, I think it's smart on both sides.
Yeah, well, we're a whole heck of a lot more fun, just saying.
I will say, and I agree, but I will say that this event, Voices of Dentistry, is a lot different than most conferences.
Oh, you actually say that they had a good time. You had a good time there.
It was pretty nuts. I mean, I
Really?
thought laboratory people had a lot of fun after the event, but these people are crazy.
Wow.
It's not your usual stuck-up, snobby conference. It's fun. It's casual. I think they did karaoke. It was just a lot of fun. I had a great time.
Cool.
I think it's a good way for us to learn more about our clients and for them to learn about us. So just remember, Voices of Dentistry, 24th to the 25th in Scottsdale, Arizona. Link to register on this episode's show notes.
Awesome. Look forward to it. Can't wait. We're going live. I think they're putting us on stage live, aren't they?
I think we will be on stage once. I think they allow all of us to record on stage in front of people.
Wow. Are you going to wear your yellow chicken costume that you wore to the race for the future?
That was Pikachu. Don't show your age. No, I don't think I will.
All right, just checking because I just want to make sure I know what I'm getting into.
Why, are you going to wear a chicken outfit too?
No.
It would be awkward if you did and I didn't. So
No, I'm not. But hey, that still could happen though. You know, you never know.
hey, never say never.
Never say never. All right.
All right, we want to give a shout out to our sponsors this week. We can't thank enough Digital Dental and Kettenbach. We appreciate your support.
Yes, I will say, but thank you, Digital Dental. They're actually repairing and putting all kinds of stuff back into about 4 of our mills right now. So I appreciate you personally and professionally. So thank you.
Is that because you let the mills go to neglect? Is that why?
No, it's because they're like 10 years old and we send them back and we get them rebuilt. So I'm stoked because, they're workhorses. They're amazing. We've got, like what I said, almost 15 of them. But some of them are a little bit older and we send them back. They gut them and they rebuild them and they come back good as new. So thank you.
That is nuts that you have 15 of them.
Yeah, I know. Can you imagine how much they're
No, I
we're
can't.
doing? Whole a lot, just saying. That's the first time you've had to beat me out in months. I've been so good.
Yeah, where have you been?
I don't know. I'm just in a good spirits today. So, and bum, bum, bum. It's going to be 67 degrees tomorrow in Florida as the high. And that, my friend, is when us Floridians wear boots and coats and sweatshirts. Yeah. I know. I know what you're thinking.
I know. I know you can't see me right now.
Are you flicking me off?
I'm actually flicking you off.
Oh, how did I know that? But I'm just so excited because we got a cold front. It looks like winter, and I love it. I'm going to go for a really long, super long run. 67. That's my winner.
We're above freezing for the first time this week, so I'm happy. So there you go.
Come on down.
Thinking about it. All right, everybody. That's all we got. We'll talk to you next week.
See ya.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.
I know.
I know.
I know.